ठीक हो गया।
हो गया।
धन्यवाद।
ओके।
All right. So hello guys, good evening everybody. So welcome back, long gap. So we'll get started with our day 5 of Facebook ads training. And let me know in the chat box how many of you have actually, as per your groups, which is divided, have actually opened up and did some practice with the Facebook ads. If you have done, then type in the chat box 1. If you're not done yet, then type in the chat box 2. What about others? Vikas, Lakshmi, Purna, Aboli. Madan sir, आपने तो कर दिया. Yes. All right. Okay, so go through the recordings and do it. And so this is a continuation of the previous classes. So if you have done that, then you'll be able to easily, relate to the classes which we do on a regular basis. So let's get started, and we are on the day 5 today. So what we are going to learn on the day 5 is buying types, bid strategies, naming conventions, ad sets, and targeting, Facebook targeting options. Okay, so this is what we will be covering in today's session. So let us recap what we learned for the past classes, and along with the topics which we learned. So on the day 1, we covered introduction, social ads strategies, key to a successful social media campaign, creating your first campaign, account setup and overview. We looked into on the day 1. Day 2, we looked into creating your business manager, managing pages, connecting Instagram pages, connecting WhatsApp accounts, managing ad accounts. So day 3, we covered business asset groups, users and permissions, billing and info, setting up Facebook pixel, custom events and conversions. And day 4, we have learned about campaign objectives, campaign budgets, special ad categories, standard campaign structures, and campaign budget optimization. And also ads budget optimization was also included. So this is day 5 of Facebook ads course, and we are learning about buying types, bid strategies, naming conventions, ad sets, and targeting, Facebook targeting options. All right. So for all the people who have already, started working on the Facebook ads, so it'll be a little more easier for you to understand this. And for those of you who have not yet started yet, so just try to relate on the previous classes if you already attended the previous classes, and I hope you will be able to get it. Okay, so getting started with buying types. So let's go to our Facebook ads dashboard. So this is the Facebook ad dashboard which we are into now. So now directly head over to buying types. So in order to understand what are buying types, we need to understand what kind of a campaign we are getting into, right? So your buying type will depend upon what type of a campaign you are choosing. Okay, so let's say I'll show you where does the campaign.
Screen आपके दिखने रही है screen.
1 second. Yes, I'll just share my screen. Okay. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay.
visible.
So now, when you create a campaign, in the campaign level itself, in the campaign details, you will be seeing a buying tab as a specific category which is given. Okay. So what is buying type? So let's say, well, let's take an example of, let's say if you have ever went into a fruit market, or maybe, you've seen, when there's Ganesh Chaturthi. So people, put into auction, right? They do auctions, right, for buying a lot quantities, or maybe, there's some other things you would have seen auctions, right? So when the auction happens, right, so everybody will have their own price, which they, whatever the price they feel, which they can pay. So they get agree to the price point, right? So similarly, in the ads platform, how it works is, when you want to, capture a particular audience, interest, or maybe capture specific audience, attention, then there is something that you have to, bid for, or you have to, uh, go into a type of an buying where you get the maximum output, right? Everybody agrees to me? Just type in the chat box one if you understand this concept. Like, everybody knows the auctions, right? Type in the chat box one if you know the concept of auction, right? बोली बोलते हिंदी में, बोली लगाना. Is anybody here who doesn't know the concept of auction? Because Lakshmi, Aboli, how with you guys? You know, right? ठीक है, बढ़िया. So, as you all know, the auction. So buying type will totally depend upon what kind of, auction you are going to take. So if you see here, there's only one option within the Facebook ads currently. Okay. But when you go to different type of, different type of campaigns, you will get a different type of buying. Okay. So as I choose as an option of, the objective is, awareness. So I just get an auction as the option. Okay. Now, in case you change this to a different objective, you tend to see certain different options as well, depending upon the campaign. Okay. So currently it is not available, but this is by default which you get. But when the account, gets more, spend, then you get a different type of an auction. Okay. But by default, this remains the same. There's nothing which is more to, learn over here. What you need to just understand here is the auction. Okay. Clear, everybody? Type in chat box one if you are clear about this auction. Great. Okay. Okay. So now let's move on to different topic, which is understanding bid strategies. So this is very important when it comes to when it comes to you running an ad. Okay. Now again, the same principle applies here based on the objective of a campaign. Okay. When you choose any of these objectives, whatever you get when you go to create a campaign, right? So when you go to create a campaign, the objectives which you choose here, whether it is awareness, traffic and engagement, leads, app promotional sales, based on that, your bid strategies will change, right? So, for example, when you go to market to buy certain things, so you will have certain budget with you to fulfill things which you want to get, right? Is that agreed by everybody? You have a budget and you want, within that budget, you want to get the items which you want, right? So in the same similar manner, your objectives will decide and will try to fetch you the results based on the bid strategies which you use. Now let's understand bid strategies in the campaign. Okay, so where does your bid strategies fall is they come under your ad set. Okay, now what is a bid? Bid is something where if you want to acquire one customer for your business or a service, how much is that amount which you are willing to pay? Okay, that is called as bid, right? The amount which you are willing to pay for to acquire a customer or to show your ad to a customer, right? That is known as bid. Okay, so there's a lot of different options which you get for bidding. Okay, so since we choose an option of category as the awareness, so there is an option where we can bid the amount where which I want to spend for X number of people to show my ad. Okay, now it changes from campaign to campaign. Okay, let's take an example. So this is about the awareness campaign where what is awareness campaign? It's a campaign to show or to showcase or to build an awareness of the brand or a product or a service, right? That is the motto of the or an objective of the campaign. So there is no other verticals of bidding as assigned to it since it is a brand. So only what you can do is at the maximum you can show ad to a people, but there is no outcome which you will get from that objective, right? That is what awareness campaign is. Now let's see if I change the objective of a campaign, I'll switch it for sales. And so after I switch my objective to sales, now you see the the strategy for your campaign changes. Okay, now here it says cost per result goal. Okay, so what is your goal? Since sales is also applicable for lead generation, it's also applicable for maybe you're running a conversion event or you're also selling your products or a service. Now it asks me that how much are you willing to pay for one sale of a product or one sign up of lead on your website, right? That is a cost which you can bear up to. Now this all does not come to you in the first place because you will be able to only understand the price only when you run the ads initially to a broad audience, and then you analyze what is the cost you are getting, and based on that you can decide that my previous campaigns have given me this particular cost, I can bear so much of cost to acquire a customer or to get a sale. Okay, clear everybody? Type in the chat box 1 if you are clear about this. Everybody type in the chat box 1 if you are clear about this. Lakshmi says one more time. Okay, I'll repeat one more time. All of people who have come new, just pay attention. We are discussing about bid strategies in the Facebook ads. Okay, so what are bid strategies? So, like, you everybody understand auctions, right? बोली लगाते हैं, right? तो बोली कैसे लगाते हैं? एक कुछ चीज होता है, उस चीज को मार्केट में बेचना होता है या फिर देना होता है, राइट? उसके ऊपर बोली लगाते हैं एंड एक प्राइस से शुरुआत होती है और मैक्सिमम जो बंदा बिड करता है, राइट, बोली लगाता है, उस प्राइस पे वो चीज बिक जाती है और दिया जाता है, राइट? सो सिमिलर वे in English it is called as auction. So auction is something which happens within the algorithms of your any ad platform. Okay, understand this, very important. This happens only in the ad platform. Okay, so like you all people who are sitting in this room and everybody is selling one particular product. Let's take we are selling a water bottle product. Okay, so everybody is just running an ad, but in our group, if somebody is want to have or acquire more audience, okay, so what he will do, he knows exactly that this is the price which I have previously getting and this is the best price which I can bid to get to acquire certain share of audience, right? So another example of it is, let's take that Facebook has 100 people, right? Very easy example. Understand this, Facebook has just 100 people, okay, consider, and out of which let's consider Madan sir and Bharti ma'am is running an ad, right? 100 people are there in the Facebook and both of them are running ad. Now out of both, right, so Bharti would be asked, both of them are running and they're selling the water bottle. Now per water bottle it is costing 1,000 rupees, okay, but Bharti is ready to pay 1,200 to Facebook to get that 100 audience, okay, whereas Madan sir is ready to pay just 1,000 rupees to get 100 audience. Now, in this case, what will be the decision of the algorithm? Okay. So obviously, people who person who pays highest will be given the first priority, right? So what will Facebook decide? Okay, Bharti is paying 1,200, Madan sir is paying 1,000, right? So it will try to allocate 60% of the audience to Bharti and 40% of the audience to Madan sir. This is how it will distribute. Now, if somebody again comes, okay, let's say Vikas comes into picture. Now he comes and he says, Facebook, I want to sell this bottle in just 950 rupees. Okay. He's an expert and he comes that he knows that Facebook will eventually give me at 950. Okay. Then in this case, what again it will have to rethink. Then algorithm will try to find, it will give some 40 to Bharti, 25 to Madan sir, and then remaining to the Vikas, right? So this is how it distributes based on the bid, okay? Because all of the three people are bidding for a audience, right? There is only just 100. Now 100 has to be distributed from to all the three people, right? It cannot go to all of them cannot go to one person, right? Because everybody is having different price and everybody is looking to acquire the audience, right? So in similar way, there is a lot of audience within the Facebook and a lot of advertisers in the Facebook, right? So for that reason, bidding is something which will happen on the back end in the system. And this again depends upon the type of an objective which you're choosing. Okay. Now, if my objective is to just promote the brand, so what will I choose? My objective will be awareness. So my end goal is I want to reach as maximum people as I can. Okay. Within the specific audience. Okay. Now, if my objective is lead generation, then I would choose and give a specific amount that I know that I can get a lead for so and so amount specific. Then it will try to give and generate me a lead for that specific amount. Clear, everybody? Now just type in the chat box 1 if this is clear. Bit is clear. Okay, so let's move ahead and now understand what are naming conventions. Okay, anybody who can take a guess what is naming conventions? I'll give an option for unmute. You guys can unmute and tell what naming convention means. Any guesses? Anyone? Lakshmi, Vikas, Saman, Madan sir, Bharti, Aboli. Any guess what naming convention means? You guys can unmute. I have given an option to unmute. Actually, nobody knows. I think you can take a guess just by, looking at the name. Strange. Okay, let me tell you what naming convention. Okay. So let's go to our screen. Okay, so naming conventions. So tell me one thing. Is anybody in this room using Excel? Anybody uses Excel? Just raise your hand or you can also unmute. Anybody in this room uses Excel? No, nobody uses Excel in this room?
Yes, I have used.
Okay. So, question for everybody. While you use Excel and you want to save an Excel, how do you save your Excel? Like if there is very important file which you want to save, how do you save your Excel? Uttam sir, we're not able to hear you. Aboli, you said you.
Yes, sir. By just using Control plus S, the key shortcut.
What is that name? Like there is very important document which you want to save. How do you name the document?
Like VVIMP, like that.
Okay, so let's forget Excel here. So I'll give very, very easy. So everybody are using smartphones, right? So in this room, everybody uses a smartphone. So tell me that you want to save a very important person's phone number, which you need the rest of your life. How would you save that phone number? What is that you would use to save phone number? You guys can unmute actually.
Favorite phone number?
Favorite phone number. Other people? Aboli, Bharti, Lakshmi, Vikas.
Numeric will give him a number like 1 dot something and then.
Okay, Bharti,
So
how
that
about
it
you?
will come on the top of.
Bharti, how do you save your number?
Yeah, like friend.
Lakshmi, yeah.
Actually, I don't have idea, sir. I'm trying to understand that.
Okay, Lakshmi, how about you? How do you save number?
Friend and relative, or what is the relationship to that person. Okay, we'll mentioning and save that number.
Okay, Aman, how about you?
Sir, first of all, the name of the person or location. Location, I can say like my uncle is like she staying in Patna, so I name like P Patna like that, or capital like that, or mobile number and name of the person, or the business terms. Like if I is a business person, so I write a business. It's a student, like student I type. If if a person is a seller, paper like newspapers. So I just write Rohit newspaper like that. So in this way, different things are so that I can able to understand. Like in the after 3 months, if I open my mobile, I remember that this is a Rohit newspaper, or somebody like fruit seller, or like a kirana wala, like that. So that so
Okay.
different person have like this, like this.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you all. So, like we all see that everybody has a different style of like saving numbers. Agreed? Like you save the number in your own understanding of like what is you think about it. Okay. Similarly, if naming convention is nothing but okay, when you are launching a campaign, okay, when you're launching a campaign, how many steps do we have in a campaign? Just type in the chat box, how many steps do we have in the campaign? Everybody. How many steps are there in the campaign? Very good. So there are 3 steps in the campaign. Okay. Now, in these 3 steps, okay, let's say tomorrow I am having 10 different campaigns which are actively running over here, okay, in my campaign dashboard, and I don't know which is giving me better results, which is performing better, okay, which is that I want to keep it on, and which is that one which I want to switch it off. If I name all the campaigns in the same name, will I be able to identify the campaign? Yes or no? Type in the chat box. Yes or no? No, right? So it is very important to name a campaign based on what and whom you are targeting, or based on your understanding how you want to name. Okay. So you can name it anything, but you have to maintain a standard format for it. So all the big companies which you see across, and if you see their marketing campaigns, there is a fixed format which is followed. Okay. For example, I'm running an awareness campaign. So they give awareness. Okay. And next is ad set. So campaign level, ad set level, ad set. In the ad set level, what do? We target the interest, right? Interest, behavior, or demographics. So what is that audience whom you are targeting? So that can be named second. What is the age group you're targeting? That can also be included. All of those things which come under the ad set can fall under, can be named. Then next comes is ads. What kind of ad are you running? Are you running a video ad? Are you running an image ad? What kind of ad it is? Whom it is targeting? What is the headline to it? All of that can be put into naming. So it's upon us. So tomorrow it is very easily identifiable for us. So that is the main reason where the naming conventions are used. Okay, so you can also do it by, putting serial numbers to it. You can also name it by what kind of a campaign type is it. So there are many different ways, right? So everybody does in their own ways, like how we got the responses from each of them in a different manner, right? So whenever some other person comes to manage your ads, it should be very easily identifiable that, oh, this is the campaign, and within this campaign, this is what is done, right? It should say on top of the campaign name itself that what does this campaign is all about. So that is where you use naming conventions. So in all the stages of the campaign, this is necessary to use, which makes your work easy, which make others works easy, right? So if you are doing it alone, then you can put this habit. Sometimes what happens when you are running multiple campaigns, you won't understand yourself what is the campaign which you need to focus, right? And imagine, like, if this is just the naming is not proper and it is all, zigzag just by a default name what Facebook gives you, and tomorrow if this you want to be handled by somebody else, he'll be so confused that you won't know what is the campaign, what is done within the campaign, right? So that is where the following of the structure comes into picture. And conventions is nothing but, your naming convention is nothing but you give a proper set name, you build your own standard in order to, give a name to a campaign in all the steps. Okay, not just a campaign level. So once the campaign level gets, once the campaign level is done, you also have naming option in the ad set level, and again also in the ads as well. So these are three steps where you can put the naming. Okay, clear everybody? Just type 1 in the chat box if this is clear. This is very important. Okay, because like you all will be working in groups, so note this, because once you do this project and when it gets handed over to other group, right, so that group should be able to identify this. Okay, so that was about naming conventions, and let's move ahead to next, which is ad sets and targeting. Okay, very important one, ad sets and targeting. So now at the initial level, we looked into about campaign types, objectives, and all of that. So now we'll understand about ad set and targeting. Okay, so you already know the things within the campaign, and I'm going to just take you a step little further to make you understand about the ad sets. Now, one thing which is very common, like you everyone know here, is ad set is all about targeting to your ideal audience, right? So now we learned in the previous class about campaign budget optimization and ads budget optimization, right? So what does campaign budget optimization does? It tries to spend entire amount based on the campaign level, right? And the ad set budget optimization tries to spend an amount based on the ads level, right? And based on your ad, number of ads and number of ad sets, so the campaign decides how much of the budget is to be allocated to what ad set, right? So when you come to ad set, what is the major thing is you can do is just target the audience. So the main important thing which you need to understand in the ad set is when different campaigns have different different options. So I want you all to explore all the options within the campaign. So what you need to do is just create a campaign and go to ad set. You'll be able to find all the options here. So let's take first is the section which comes as the name, okay, which we spoke about. Next is conversion. So if I'm choosing an awareness campaign, so what is my end goal using this campaign? Do I have to take users to my website? Do I need to promote an app, or it's a website and app both, or it is a messaging app, okay, or it is a calls which you want to promote, okay? So that is about the end goal which you want to bring in. Next comes is ads optimization delivery, which we looked at, like what is the goal you want to achieve, or what is the cost which you can bear in order to get a certain output. This again depends when you run ads for a long time and you come to a conclusion, okay? Then next is budget and schedule. So budget and schedule, again, in budget and schedule, there are two things which you need to focus. One is a lifetime budget and other is a daily budget. What does daily budget means is you are willing to spend certain amount of money on a daily basis, which is a daily budget. Now, if you want to spend and you have a certain budget in your mind, let's say 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and you choose lifetime budget, and then again you choose what is the period until when you want to run an ads, right? So if I have 10,000 budget, I put an amount of 10,000 budget and I decide what is the date this 10,000 I want to be spent. Okay, this is again in the budget section. Next is very important, your audience. So these are the things which we already have learned, but I'll just brush you up. First is custom audience option. Okay, so custom audience will also be learning in the next classes. So for now, just keep that aside. First is locations. Okay, location, choose any location which you want, right? You just click on edit and then choose any of the locations you want. So by default, country is selected. You can choose a state, you can choose city, all of that by just searching here. Okay, this is about locations. Then there's something called as age. So again, age, you can, in India, it starts from 18. Other countries have different age groups to start with, okay, based on, the minority and majority, minor and major. Then next comes is gender, okay. Choose the gender which you want. So again, if you click on gender, it is all men, women, okay. Then next comes is detailed targeting. So detailed targeting is space where you dive deep into targeting your audience, okay. Then after that, you have languages. So languages, again, you can choose different languages for, for the ads. This is again optional. We can use, or either we can leave as it is. Then the next is placement. So what does placement means? By default, Facebook gives an option to choose your audience with the automatic placement. Suppose tomorrow, if I want to go for manual placement, where I want to choose just a Facebook or just an Instagram, just a Messenger, just an audience network, you can still go ahead and do it by just choosing manual. Okay. Again, you choose any of them, you'll be again, taken to the placement section where again you can choose either I want to show feeds, stories, reels, okay, search, messages, all of that is shown over here. Okay, so this is about the placement. Now let's come back to detailed targeting, which is very important in the entire campaign. So this decides whether you're getting good results for your campaign or not. If this goes down, then your entire marketing campaign is gone. Okay, remember this, either you're doing lead generation or you're doing you're selling any product or service, your entire thing depends upon whom you are targeting, right? So your customer avatar should be very crisp and clear, and you should understand who is your audience, what do they like, what do they eat, the entire, your audience insights you need to have, and then you need to go for detailed targeting. Now, when you go for detailed targeting, and I click on browse, so what does Facebook gives us is, it gives us on the demographics, it gives us option to target on based on interest, and the third is behavior. Now, what is demographics is something as a category, right? So a group of profession of certain profession is one category, right? A group of people, of a different, different working or maybe in a business is a category. So all of those is considered as a demographics. Okay. Now, if you just go to this, so you see this is again education sector, finance sector, life events, parents, relationship, work. So these are again drilled down, okay, in the demographics. Similarly, you also have interest. You can choose the categories of interest, and there is also a behaviors. Now, this is a option which you can choose directly. Then there is second way how we can target is by, clicking on the search option and search based on your audience persona. So let's say if somebody wants to, wants to sell a particular product, let's say bag, right? And if I type as bag, so you will see an option as bag, and at the right side, you see an interest, right? And another important thing which you also see is size. Now, what is the size? It says that this is an entire size of an audience who are interested, who have shown interest to Facebook in bag, right? And if you see the numbers, it ranges from 25 lakhs to almost to 35 lakhs, okay, in the entire Facebook's audience. Now, when you drill this down, it keeps on getting reduced based on the location, based on the age factor, based on your gender. It keeps reducing. Okay, so that is how it is, and you choose the bag. Then there's something where if you choose any particular interest, demographics, or maybe a behavior, and you want something similar to those audience, then there is option called as suggestions. And when you click on suggestions, you see all of the similar audience which are related to bag, right? So you can also choose from that, or you can also give your own interest. So this is about, entirely about putting out all the interests of your own audience, okay, of your audience persona. And then once you define it, then you go to the next step where you choose what type of a creative you want and, publish the campaign. So is this clear, everybody? Type in chat box 1 if this is clear, or I can take questions to answer all your questions. You guys can unmute and ask questions if any. It's clear for everybody?
I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, my question is that that you have shown about the uh, bag size or something like 25 lakhs
Mhm.
audience are there. It's the raw data or it's the real data that if we do advertising, we will touch the 25 lakhs audience, and out of them we will get some kind of leads or something like that. It is the raw data or it is like assumption or predefined.
So it's a data which is available with the Facebook, okay, but that does not give you an exact number of audience that this is an exact, because every day in day out the audience keep on getting added, right? So if I am not added as a bag interest, and let's say somebody of my friends on Facebook puts up, a bag, a photo with the bag, and I click on like, or maybe I comment on it, which shows to Facebook that I have liked this photo, which says that so Facebook recognizes it as like it's a bag which with along with the photo with the bag, and it puts me in an interest bucket of bag. So when it puts me on interest, so the number keeps changing on a daily basis. So that is the reason all of the numbers in the Facebook, when you either go for targeting, you would see the lowest and the highest. Okay, so there is no fixed derived number which you will get, but you have to balance and then take a decision.
Okay. My one more question is that how we can able to exclude and include. Suppose we want to add something, or how we can, suppose what happens. In my case, I have run many ads. Okay, in the last year also. So what happens? So I take 10 10 category like bag or purse or like hanging purse. So these are the category I choose. But I always confuse that which one is more like beneficial. So how we can able to define with this? Can you give me just some highlights?
See, defining is based on the audience. So if you have run added with multiple interests and you see that that does not work, then you have to test with a different audience. It's all trial and error. There's no fixed or thumb rule. This audience will work for you, or this is the interest. Even if you have choose and defined your audience persona, and you have choose that this is the interest will work, you have to test it and really see if that is working or not. If that is not, then you have to test out with a different audience. There's no fixed combination which can work. Ultimately we are testing our own audience within the Facebook, right? So if I have an interest of bag and I have a specific interest, maybe some kind of a bag, but if you show, if you put me an ad on me that there's some other category of bag, I would not be interested to see that particular ad. Though I am interested in bag, but I'm very specifically interested in some kind of a bag, right? That is my taste. So everybody will have their own taste. So based on that, we have to do a lot of trial and error. So when you ask about exclude or something, so if I have a bag, you can exclude maybe let's say a kind of a other bag, let's say choose a bean bag. Okay, I want to exclude a bean bag interest people. So from the bag interested people, it will try to exclude bean bag interested people. So that is how it includes and exclude the audience. Okay.
Okay. So I have in the last 2 years, sometimes I feel that we run there are so many people in the there are so many people in the last 2 years when I run the ad. So I face these kinds of problems like Instagram or in the Facebook. There are a lot of people who clicks the button, and the amount has been deducted from our site, our account. But after that, we just get the leads or something. We got a fake leads. That is not a genuine leads. What are the best parameters that we have to choose this? Because most of the people has run the ads, they face the same problem. Like they are getting a very spend the amount, but they have not get the leads, or they get
We
the
have,
leads, but
Aman, so we'll be learning in further topics. What is the parameters to be tracked? So we'll learn. Okay. So any other questions from anybody else? Apart from Aman, anybody has a question?
Sir, can I ask, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, my question is actually not about Facebook, but it is related to website. What happened? My complete website is ready, but my website is not opening, sir. It is showing that scam it is. And
You can
I'm
ask,
working on
Bharti ma'am, you can ask about doubt clearing sessions in the website part. Website.
yes, Bharti
Can I
madam, please
connect
connect
it
with me
another
now.
time, sir, for the only purpose? Because website is not at opening, that is the problem.
Yeah, you can ask in the doubt clearing session of a website.
Bharti madam, please connect me with you tomorrow. I'll be helping on this. Okay, thank you so much. Can we continue, sir? Thank you.
Yes. So I'll just revise what we have learned today. So there's not much in the practical apart from understanding the audience. But what we have covered today is the buying types, bid strategies, naming conventions, ad sets and targeting, and Facebook ads targeting options. Right? Very important, which I want anybody or everybody who is running ads, or maybe you're starting to run ads with the groups which you have getting distributed. Start exploring the ads targeting options. That is very important, because this decides the entire the outcome which you will be looking for when you're running an ad, right? So targeting is very important. So like I said, it is not that you choose one targeting and then you sleep thinking that my ads will work better. It's all about trial and errors. None of the campaigns will work that way. So if you ask anybody in the market, if you take big companies or even a startup, it's all about trial and errors, right? Something which works for them, it works for them. Something which doesn't work for them, then again it is a changing it and then testing it out and making it work. Okay, so that is how it works. So don't be in the impression that I've chosen maybe interest of bag and everything will work out for me. It's not that way. So that is the reason you have to explore different targeting options within the ads manager, and then test it out. Okay, so that was about today's session. So we'll meet on the next section, where we have our next section coming on. Let me check. 13th. So by then I want everybody to at least do some hands-on practice with the ads, and then we'll be going ahead and assign different topics. Okay, so if nobody has questions, we can end the session for today. I think nobody has questions, so do practice the ads manager and exploring interest. We'll see you everybody on the next class. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.